Let me share with you what actually occurs in consciousness when you stand on the precipice of extraordinary success. Your entire world is about to undergo a transformation so profound that you will hardly recognize your former life. This isn't wishful thinking, it's law. Many of you sit here tonight wondering when your breakthrough will come, when your circumstances will finally reflect your desires. But I tell you this, your wild success isn't coming. It's already here, existing now in your consciousness, waiting to be assumed into expression. Consider this, every person who has ever achieved extraordinary success first achieved it in consciousness. They didn't wait for circumstances to change, they changed their consciousness for consciousness. The outer success was merely the shadow of their inner assumption. When you truly grasp this principle, something remarkable happens to your entire approach to success. You stop seeking it in the outer world and start expressing it from within. You recognize that success isn't something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become in consciousness. Let me tell you something vital about this imminent success. It's not determined by your past, your education, your circumstances, or what others think possible for you. It's determined solely by your assumption, by the concept you hold of yourself in consciousness. Here's a profound truth about your wild success. It already exists in what I call the fourth dimension of infinite possibilities. Your only task is to assume it into this three-dimensional world through the power of your consciousness. Think about this. Every great achievement in human history first existed in the consciousness of someone who dared to assume its reality before there was any external evidence. They knew the secret that I'm sharing with you tonight, that consciousness is the only reality. The very success you seek is seeking you, but it can only find you in consciousness. It can only express itself through your assumption of its reality. This assumption of success works with a precision that would astonish you if you could see it from a higher dimension. It operates not through effort or struggle, but through a complete transformation of your inner state. Let me share with you exactly what happens when you truly assume the state of wild success. Your entire inner world begins to reorganize itself. Your thoughts naturally arm with success. Your feelings are tuned to success. Your inner conversations reflect success. This isn't something you force, it's something you allow. Many of you try to think successful thoughts while feeling like a failure inside. But I tell you this, success isn't a collection of thoughts, it's a state of consciousness. When you assume the state of success, you don't need to think about success any more than a wealthy person needs to think about wealth. Consider this, when you enter a room, you don't think about being in the room. You simply are in the room. The same must be true of your successful state. You don't think about being successful, you simply are successful. When you truly understand this principle, something remarkable happens to your entire existence. You stop trying to achieve success and start expressing success. The difference is profound. Achievement implies future attainment, expression implies present reality. Let me tell you something crucial about this state of success. It has nothing to do with comparison or competition. Your wild success is unique to you. It's the full expression of who you really are, not an imitation of someone else's journey. Here's a profound truth about assuming success. It must feel natural to you. If it feels like pretense or affirmation, you haven't truly assumed the state. When you genuinely assume a state, it feels like the most natural thing in the world. Think about this. You don't wake up each morning and affirm that you're human. You don't try to convince yourself that you exist. These states are natural to you. Your successful state must become just as natural. The very essence of success is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. It's not something you create. It's something you allow to emerge through your assumption. This emergence of success through your assumption follows an immutable pattern that, once understood, will transform your entire approach to manifestation. You must understand that success isn't something that happens to you. It's something that happens from you. Let me share with you what actually occurs when success begins to emerge through your assumption. First, your consciousness shifts. You begin to think, feel, and react from the state of success before any external evidence appears. This isn't pretense, it's spiritual law in operation. Many of you wait for external circumstances to make you feel successful. But I tell you this, you have it backwards. Your feeling of success must precede the external manifestation. The outer world merely reflects what you've already accepted as real in consciousness. Consider this. When an oak tree emerges from an acorn, it doesn't gradually become an oak. It is an oak from the very beginning, merely expressing more and more of what it already is. Your success follows the same pattern. You must be it before you can see it. When you truly grasp this principle, something remarkable happens to your daily experience. You stop living in anticipation of success and start living from the consciousness of success already achieved. This shift in consciousness is everything. Let me tell you something vital about this emergence. It often begins with small changes in how you perceive yourself and your world. You'll notice that you naturally begin to speak differently, carry yourself differently, make decisions differently, not through effort, but through your new self-concept. Here's a profound truth about this emergence of success. It must flow from a changed consciousness, not from external efforts alone. All the action in the world cannot produce success if your consciousness remains in a state of limitation or lack. Think about this. Every truly successful person you admire reached their position through this same law, whether they were conscious of it or not. They first assumed the state of success in consciousness, and their outer world had to reflect that inner conviction. The very circumstances that seem to stand between you and success are actually the raw materials from which your success will be fashioned. They are not obstacles, but opportunities for your assumption to prove itself. These circumstances that appear to block your path to success are actually the perfect stage upon which your assumption will prove its power. Every seeming obstacle is an opportunity to express your new state of consciousness. Let me share with you exactly how to use your present circumstances, regardless of their appearance. When you face a situation that seems to contradict your assumption of success, rather than fighting against it or being discouraged by it, you must see it as the perfect opportunity to express your new state. Many of you look at your current circumstances and say, how can I be successful when this situation exists? But I tell you this, circumstances don't determine your success. Your consciousness determines your circumstances. Your assumption of success, maintained regardless of appearances, must reshape your entire world. Consider this. When an artist looks at a blank canvas, they don't see emptiness, they see infinite possibility. The same must be true of your current circumstances. They are not fixed reality. They are the canvas upon which your assumption will paint your success. When you truly understand this principle, something remarkable happens to your perception of problems. You stop seeing them as barriers and start recognizing them as the bridge of incidents leading to your success. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to express your new state. Let me tell you something crucial about handling circumstances. You must learn to react to them from your assumed state of success, not from your old patterns of thought and feeling. Your reactions are the true test of your assumption. Here's a profound truth about circumstances. They have no power to sustain themselves against your sustained assumption. Just as darkness cannot exist in the presence of light, limiting circumstances cannot persist in the presence of your consciousness of success. Think about this. Every circumstance in your life right now is there because of past assumptions. As you maintain your new assumption of success, these circumstances must either transform or dissolve to make way for conditions that match your new consciousness. The very circumstances that seem most opposed to your success are often the ones that, when properly used, will contribute most powerfully to its manifestation. Nothing is against you when you know how to use everything for your assumption. The proper use of circumstances requires a complete reversal of your usual way of thinking. Instead of looking at circumstances to determine what's possible, you must look to your assumption of success and let it determine how you interpret and use every circumstance. Let me share with you exactly how this works in practice. When you encounter any situation, rather than asking, how will this affect my success? Ask yourself, how would I see this situation if I were already the success I desire to be? This shift in perspective changes everything. Many of you analyze circumstances trying to figure out how to overcome them. But I tell you this, circumstances don't need to be overcome. They need to be transformed by your consciousness. Your assumption of success, maintained consistently, will automatically transform every circumstance to match it. Consider this: when you enter a dark room and turn on the light, you don't fight the darkness. You don't strategize about how to remove it. The mere presence of light transforms the entire room. Your consciousness of success works the same way. Its mere presence must transform your entire world. When you truly grasp this principle, something remarkable happens to your response to situations. You stop trying to change circumstances and start changing your consciousness about them. You recognize that every circumstance is neutral until your consciousness gives it meaning. Let me tell you something vital about this transformation. It often begins with what appears to be a complete contradiction to your desire. What seems like failure or setback is actually the rearrangement of conditions necessary for your success to manifest. Here's a profound truth about using circumstances. Every situation, every person, every condition in your life must assumption of success when you know how to use them properly. Nothing can resist the power of a consistently maintained assumption. Think about this. The very circumstances that seem to argue against your success are actually arguing for it when viewed from your new assumption. Every apparent obstacle is really an opportunity in disguise waiting to be transformed by your consciousness. The very resistance you encounter is evidence that your assumption is beginning to reshape your world. Just as muscles must encounter resistance to grow stronger, your assumption proves its power by transforming resistant circumstances. This transformation through your assumption follows a precise pattern that unfolds with mathematical certainty. Just as water must reach 212 degrees Fahrenheit to boil, your consciousness must reach and maintain a certain intensity of conviction for transformation to occur. Let me share with you exactly what happens during this transformation process. As you maintain your assumption of success, your entire world begins to dissolve and reshape itself. Old patterns of experience begin to break down. Old relationships either transform or dissolve. Old limitations start to crumble. Many of you become alarmed when your world begins to shake and change. But I tell you this shaking is necessary. Just as an earthquake results from the realignment of tectonic plates, the shaking in your life results from the realignment of consciousness to match your assumption of success. Consider this. When a caterpillar enters its chrysalis, its entire body dissolves before reforming as a butterfly. It doesn't gradually grow wings, it completely transforms. The same process occurs in your world when you maintain your assumption of success. When you truly understand this principle, something remarkable happens to your tolerance for change. You stop resisting the dissolution of old patterns and start welcoming them as signs that your assumption is taking root. You recognize that chaos often precedes creation. Let me tell you something crucial about this transformation. It doesn't always follow your conscious mind's expectations of how success should come. Your assumption works through infinite wisdom that knows far better than your conscious mind how to bring about your success. Here's a profound truth about this transformative process. It affects everything in your world simultaneously, not just isolated aspects. Your assumption of success transforms your entire life, not just your bank account or your career. Everything must align with your new self-concept. Think about this. Every great success story involves a period of complete transformation where the old life had to give way to the new. This isn't coincidence, it's law. Your assumption of success must transform your entire world to match its nature. The very upheaval that seems to threaten your stability is actually the reorganization necessary for your success to manifest. Nothing can remain in your world that doesn't align with your persistent assumption. This reorganization of your world through the power of your assumption is not random chaos, but perfect order taking shape. Everything that doesn't align with your assumption of success must either transform or be removed from your experience. Let me share with you what actually occurs during this reorganization. Your relationships begin to shift. Some people will be drawn closer while others naturally fade away. Your opportunities begin to change. Old doors close while new ones open. Your very way of thinking reorganizes itself to match your assumption of success. Many of you resist this reorganization, trying to hold on to people, situations, and patterns that no longer serve your new state. But I tell you this, you must let the old order dissolve completely. You cannot pour new wine into old bottles. Your assumption of success demands a complete renewal. Consider this: when you rearrange furniture in a room, there's always a period where everything seems out of place. The room looks worse before it looks better. The same is true of your life as it reorganizes itself to match your assumption of success. When you truly grasp this principle, something remarkable happens to your attitude toward change. You stop seeing disruption as something going wrong and start recognizing it as something going right. You understand that disorder is often the prelude to a higher order. Let me tell you something vital about this reorganization. It works with perfect precision to bring about exactly what your assumption requires. People, circumstances, and opportunities that match your assumed state of success must be drawn into your experience, while anything that contradicts it must be removed. Here's a profound truth about this process. It operates through a wisdom far greater than your conscious mind. Your assumption of success activates a divine intelligence that knows exactly how to reorganize your world for its perfect expression. Think about this. Every success story you've ever heard involved a complete reorganization of the person's life. Old habits had to die. Old associations had to change. Old limitations had to be transcended. This isn't coincidence. It's the law of assumption at work. The very chaos you may be experiencing now is evidence that your assumption is taking hold. Your world must be reorganized to match your new state of consciousness. This divine intelligence operating through assumption works with a precision and wisdom that far exceeds any human planning or strategy. It knows exactly what needs to be dissolved, what needs to be transformed, and what needs to be brought into your experience to manifest your success. Let me share with you how this intelligence actually works in your experience. While your conscious mind may struggle to figure out how success will come, this divine intelligence is already setting in motion a series of events, encounters, and circumstances that will lead inevitably to your success. It operates beyond the limitations of time and space. Many of you try to plan every detail of how your success should manifest. But I tell you this, your conscious planning often limits the infinite ways in which success can come to you. Your only task is to maintain your assumption. Let this higher intelligence handle the how. Consider this. When you plant a seed, you don't need to instruct it how to grow. You don't need to teach it how to form roots, stem, leaves, and flowers. An intelligence within the seed knows exactly what to do. The same is true of your assumption of success. When you truly understand this principle, something remarkable happens to your approach to manifestation. You stop trying to figure everything out with your conscious mind and start trusting this divine intelligence to bring about your success in ways you could never have imagined. Let me tell you something crucial about this intelligence. It operates most effectively when you step out of its way. The more you try to control the process with your conscious mind, the more you interfere with its perfect operation. Here's a profound truth about this divine intelligence. It knows your heart's deepest desires better than you do. It knows exactly what form of success will bring you the greatest fulfillment. And it works tirelessly to bring that about through your assumption. Think about this. Every great inventor, artist, or entrepreneur who achieved remarkable success often said that their ideas and opportunities came to them as if by inspiration. This wasn't coincidence. It was this divine intelligence operating through their assumption. The very intelligence that keeps your heart beating, that maintains the rhythm of your breath, that orchestrates the movement of planets, is the same intelligence that works through your assumption to bring about your success. To cooperate with this divine intelligence, you must develop an unshakable faith in its operation through your assumption. Your only role is to maintain your consciousness of success and let this perfect intelligence handle every detail of its manifestation. Let me share with you the final and perhaps most crucial understanding about your imminent success. Every moment of doubt, every moment of wavering in your assumption is like taking a seed out of the ground to check if it's growing. You must plant your assumption in consciousness and let it grow undisturbed. Many of you keep shifting between states, sometimes feeling successful, sometimes falling back into old patterns of thought. But I tell you this, you must choose your state and stay there. Success isn't a mood that comes, it's a state that you occupy permanently in consciousness. Consider this: when you fill a glass with water, the water takes the shape of the glass without effort or struggle. Your world must take the shape of your assumption with the same natural inevitability, but only if you maintain that assumption consistently. When you truly master this principle, something remarkable happens to your entire being. You stop waiting for success and start expressing it. You stop pursuing success and start radiating it. You stop hoping for success and start knowing it as your natural state. Let me tell you something final and vital about your wild success. It's not just possible, it's inevitable when you maintain your assumption with unwavering faith. The law must operate. It cannot fail any more than gravity can fail to operate. Here's the ultimate truth about your success. It's already complete in the fourth dimension of infinite possibilities. Your assumption isn't creating it. Your assumption is simply drawing it into visible expression in your three-dimensional world. Think about this. You are about to witness the most remarkable transformation of your life. Everything you've experienced up to now has been preparation for this moment. Your past has not determined your future. Your assumption determines it now. The very fact that you're hearing these words tonight is evidence that you're ready for this transformation. You wouldn't be drawn to this understanding if you weren't prepared to express it. Remember this always: success isn't something you achieve. It's something you express from within. It's not a destination you reach. It's a state you occupy in consciousness. Your wild success is already yours, not will be, but is. The only barrier between you and its full expression is your assumption. Go forth now in the absolute conviction that you are about to be wildly successful. Let nothing disturb this assumption. Let no circumstance, no person, no apparent obstacle shake your faith in this law. For the law of assumption never fails. It cannot fail. Your success is as certain as the dawn following the night, as sure as spring following winter. It must come into expression through the power of your sustained assumption. The only variable is time, and even time must bend to your unwavering consciousness of success. Tonight, as you leave this place, know with complete certainty that you are already successful. Live from that conviction, think from it, feel from it, react from it. Let every thought, every word, every action spring from your consciousness of success already achieved. For in truth, I tell you this, you are about to be wildly successful, not because you will make it happen, but because it is already done in consciousness, and what is done in consciousness must manifest in your world. This is the law, and the law never fails. Test it and prove it for yourself, for you will discover, as countless others have discovered before you, that your assumption, sustained with faith, has the power to transform your entire world. Your wild success awaits your assumption of its reality. And that is the end of tonight's lesson.